All right. What is up, y'all? Will here, and this is the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast, brought to you by us here at Schedulefly. Simple, web-based restaurant employee scheduling software backed by legendary customer service in all at a low price point. So we have been fortunate not to ever raise venture capital or private equity here at Schedulefly. So we have believe it or not, the same prices we started with when we hung our shingle out on the internet in 2007, 18 years of no price increases. So we have a low cost, highly personable, highly customer centric focused platform that is very easy to use, and it's used by over 5,000 restaurants around the U.S. And we've grown through word of mouth. So you may not have heard of us. We're sort of like a speakeasy for scheduling software. But if you're on pencil and paper or Excel and you have headaches with scheduling and communicating with your staff and storing your documents and logging shift notes and all that and keeping up with your labor costs, schedulefly.com, give us a try. 30 days for free. And we don't do contracts. We don't do setup fees. We don't do termination fees, nothing like that. Just simple monthly pricing. If you are on a competitor software, Seven Shifts or Hot Schedules or Sling or some of these other ones, and you're perfectly happy, then stick with what you're doing. But if you'd like to look at other opportunities and save some money and maybe have a little bit easier interface, schedulefly.com. Again, 30-day free trial. And y'all, my personal cell phone number is on the website on like 3 pages. It's easy to reach me. You can call me or text me anytime. Happy to speak with you about Schedulefly. And more importantly, happy to have the opportunity to do yet another Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast episode. We are now over 600 episodes. We've been doing this about 15 years, and this is a wonderful opportunity to speak to a guy who has a great story, who came here with one idea of what he wanted to do and found himself working in restaurants to support that dream. And now he's owns a bunch of restaurants and loves the industry and is doing very well and has a great story. So, Pop, thank you for the time today. And if you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself.
All right, guys. My name is Kasem Saengsawang, and I have a really tiny short names. Everyone call me Pop. And I born and raised in Thailand. I grew up there. I play around with like Thai cultures, and every single day I learning from my grandparents traditional recipe and the culture where food equal love and community. So this is me.
This is you. And you came here um, with one idea of why you were coming to the States. So when did you do that, and why did you come here, and what was your goal when you came here?
So when my first decided to be here in the States, my dream goal is to become a Bill Gates. My education background is more like, computer scientist. I love to play around with coding, Java, C++, those kind of crazy stuff. But, once I got here, the first thing that I know that I have to make a good cost of living, paying rents, tuition. So I jumped into the restaurant business, and since then, I realized like food was my true calling. It's something that I can touch my knife. I can play with fire every single day without getting tired. So that's why I feel like, being at the restaurant business, it's not just about work. It is about who you are, how comfortably working inside, or how much confidence that could be built. Nobody born perfect. I never cook day one with perfect dish, but every single days I put my touch of my heart. I feel like if I want to cook one dish for my family, what could it be? How lovely color going to be look like? How taste? How smoke? That is something that I keep telling myself, like, if you want to do something good, be good with it. Yeah.
Mhm. So you started working in restaurants um, to support yourself.
Yes.
In what year was this?
It was 2005. Wow.
Okay, interesting. So well, congratulations, 20 years in the business, and an interesting
Thank
timing
you.
because, I'm old enough to remember that a couple years after that, we had quite a disruption in our economy, which probably impacted,
Right.
the
Hmm.
restaurants as well.
Sure.
And that being the housing crisis. So you're working in restaurants. Um, when did you start to realize this isn't just a means to an end? This is the end itself, and this is what I want
Um, my first start at the restaurant, it was a food court. I was a prep, and then one of my chef just disappeared for a couple hours, and then this one customer ordered the spicy basil over rice. I took an order, and then it's no chef inside. It was crazy. You know, I was so young. I was nervous. I say like, okay, I have to cook it for you guys. Are you trusting me? And then that guy say like, oh yeah, I trust you. Just make it. I walk into the kitchens, and then I used another chef wok to make a good food, the spicy basil over rice. And then that person took the order from the counter, and then he maybe like 4 or 5 minutes he came back with serious face, like, oh my gosh, this is the best food. I got a good bumps. I was almost crying. I was telling myself like, wow, at least this one guy telling me I'm good with this without like doing a C plus or Java code. And that day, it's remind me of what I could be. It cheered me up in the way that as a young person who didn't have any idea at all what you're gonna be good in the future, it's give me the light. So my real professional cooking skill is start from 2009 when I decided to be a professional chef in my own. So I joined the Le Cordon Bleu in San Francisco, and then after graduated, I opened my not first, but consider as a first. It's called Kitchen Story. It's the Asian fusions. I co-partner with Stephen Choi, which is a brunch guys, and I learned a lot from him. There's a couple of things that every single days I try to be someone else. I try to be like, without my roots. I try to be cool, like flip flop burger, pancakes. And at the end of the day, I cannot smell any more butter. I cannot even like eat any more of the open face sandwiches because I'm so sick of it. One day I have to do like 4,500 pieces of pancakes. That day is the end. And this make me feel like this is not me. And who am I? And that day it's remind myself like I have to be myself. So I create Farmhouse Kitchen with the theme and then start Farmhouse Kitchen roots in 2015. And since then, I have 7 locations over California, Oregon. A lot of people ask me like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You are very rich family. No, I start from zero. The first day that my feet touched the stage, I have only $300. That day, I don't even know like what $300 could do back then, 20 years ago. My apartment is $800 per 1 bedrooms, and I was so sick. I was sit down on the corner and when depressed. And then nowadays, I keep telling all young chefs like money is not just a thing that you're looking for. You're looking for times and opportunity to turn yourself into someone else, someone that's success. You try to pick the one you like and then follow them. And dream. Everyone have a dream. I have a dream. I want to be a pilot. I want to be like astronaut. I want to be everything that people want to be. But one thing, if you want to be good with it. So after I cook that spicy basil, it's remind me like, hey, I'm good as a chef. I want to be a chef. I want to make, sharing my story through food, through culture, and be proud of it. And now I have 2 young kids. every single day is like, every restaurant that I took her, I didn't call like I have to work. I call like, oh, that is my San Francisco home. That is my Oakland homes. Because every single restaurant I put my soul inside means that I don't call it's the working place. I call it's the home. Whenever I walk in, I don't feel like rush. I don't feel like, awkward to talk to new people or meeting the customer. I feel like I'm back home here in the Bay Area or in Los Angeles or in Portland, Oregon. It's really fun to twist myself and then be able to adapt and train my team. Another key of success for my own is more like teamwork is really important. Who can see the future just like exactly the way you want. Yeah.
Well, I want to get into teamwork. But that moment where you're there in the food court, chef's not there,
Oof.
you have to pull this together,
Yeah.
and it works, and you got chill bumps. That's a moment. All right, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I'm sitting right here right now, literally, you can't with chill bumps
Ah,
because
thank you.
those are the those are the moments. I think any entrepreneur will agree. Those are the moments when you know you're doing what you were meant to do, or you find what you were meant to do. I think there you found what you were meant to do in that moment. And we don't ever lose that moment. And anytime we are tired or stressed or worried, you can kind of go back to that moment and remember what is this all about? And that is probably this spark that probably is always kind of burning in your mind. It's always there, and it's a source of strength. Um, am I right about that?
Yes, you're so right. Yeah, there's so touchy moment in my life through the restaurant business entrepreneur side. And that is how I start and how to keep maintain and how to build into the empire and how to pass the pandemic. Oh my gosh. I think like whoever like start before pandemic and pass the pandemic, right? No matter what happened next, we could stand strong.
Well, and we'll get into, I'm sure there's a lot that went into getting through the pandemic,
Yeah.
teamwork being one of them. But I mean, so I want to talk about that because listen, I mean, you operate restaurants in states that have become increasingly hard to
Yeah.
operate in, particularly from a labor perspective, but also during, every state sort of handled the pandemic differently. Tell me about first of all, how many restaurants did you have going into the pandemic in March of 2020?
So on that time I have four of Farmhouse Kitchen, one Daughter Thai, and two of the Sun and Garden. So four, one, five, six, seven restaurant at
Seven
that
restaurants.
moment. Yes.
Okay. And do you have investors in your business, Pop, or did you do this? Did you kind of
No.
one to the next? So this is all you.
Uh, I have partnership with my good friends and coworker who been working with me since decade, like since 2007, since 2012, and then it's start from a coworker and become teamwork, become friendship, become good friendship with family feeling, and become partner. So
Okay.
it's really something like I really want to share. Yeah,
But your growth has been funded by the success of the business, not by bringing in outside capital.
sure, sure.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal. All right, so here you go. March of 2020, you're humming along. You got seven
Oof.
places. The economy's cranking, everything's going well, and
Hmm.
then boom, we just get sideswiped with this completely unexpected,
Yep.
massively impactful event. What did you do?
Oh my gosh. March 16. when the city of San Francisco starts saying the restaurant has to be curfew and closed for indoor business. We don't understand. We don't know. They don't have any guide rules or anything. What could we do? On the 16th, I have full team schedule for each restaurant. Everyone stand, and we cannot sell. I check on the POS system. The sale is 0 from 11 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the evening. All chefs start saying like, okay, we schedule people prepping, to prepare, to clean up, to deep clean the restaurant, to be ready. And they say like, okay, just make sure you keep telling everyone like, to do their job. I called a meeting for all each location through Zoom, and I keep spreading the positive energy. Like, okay, maybe it's the good time to do something that we didn't do well before. Like, for example, inventory checklist and then those kind of things back of the office. March 17th, the next day, it's happened again. The city doesn't have any rules or regulation what we could do. And I still have my full schedule. And it's keep piled up my pay until the next payment. It was because we do payroll every week. The next payroll, I was tough. I was like, oh my gosh, if I keep doing this, I'm going to get toast. We're not going to make it. I have to start on the second plans. I calling my team again, doing a lot of stuff to prepare what's next. The pandemic hit so hard. A lot of chefs got COVID. Some even cry like crazy. Even like the last letter say like, if I pass, please do this to my family. It was so crazy. That moment I was so tough. I tried to be a hero. I tried to be a big boss who can help everybody. But at the end of the day, I was so failed. On that time, I live in East Bay, and I have to drive my car through the tunnel. Once I hit the tunnel, it was so quiet. I was crying, my tears dropping, like, what should I do? It's the whole week. Every time when I hit that tunnel, it's tough. I don't know what to do. And then when the city starts saying like, okay, the operation could do only takeout and everything, we got the light. We got like, okay, at least, we have to do something. And one day, I remember I walked inside the restaurant and it was 30 cases of catering tray delivered to the restaurant. I was so upset. I called the manager like, I told you guys to cut the budget. I told you guys anything that you don't need, just return it. And I cannot return it because that tray been ordered over 30 days and then just shipped. And it's already paid in full. So I have probably 2,600 trays inside those boxes.
Oh my gosh.
I hold that tray with upset feeling. And then I say like, okay, what should I do with this tray to make sure that it's turned a profit during the pandemic? And I keep telling myself like every crisis, there's 0.0001% of opportunity. It's my job to look for that opportunity. So I decided to put all the good food inside that tray and sell during the pandemic. We call the little Lao set. So my goal is to make sure when my customer order food at home, open that tray, was cheerful, was happy, with colorful, with a lot of Thai food. And the price, on that time, I sell that tray for $69.99. My partner, my chef, my inventory man, like, you're not going to make any money on this. You're not going to do anything with this. You just burn your labor without getting anything back. I turned back and told them, I better sell whatever inside that freezer. I don't want to keep it for years and without any answer. I don't want to keep those inventory without turning into something that I can pay my people, and I don't want to cut people out. So that day it took off. I even put the promotion with 2 free drinks, 2 kids meal with that tray. It took a month, and DoorDash is one of the key. That's I feel like wow, working with DoorDash on that time is give me such a huge green light. It has a good photographer. It has like, a good system, order backside, back office to keep track if the customer like it or not. It's something that's wow. It's come to the right moment. Before before the pandemics, 90% we focus in house and less than 10% of like takeout and delivery. But during the pandemics, 100% through. And that moment I hold that tray for 2,600 trays and keep telling all location we're gonna do the same thing. And when we do, we have to do good. And it took me like another month and a half to do good photos, good content. I even sent that tray to the worker at the hospitals, at the child care services, at the firefighter, at the health department in San Francisco, because we want to make sure like it is not just we running the restaurant business and we look only for ourselves. We want to make sure that people know, hey, thank you so much for your work. And the healthcare people it's not an easy that day. You have to wear crazy huge suit and then mask and then work like just like a nuclear facility because we don't
Yeah.
know, right? And it's really hard. After that day, believe it or not, in 2020 we no 2000 oh yeah 2020 we sold that tray 6,700 trays. But in 2021, we sold over 90,000 trays for 2021 and 2022 over 150 trays. So
150,000?
yes, for all locations combined. It's crazy. It's something like wow, we didn't expect that people going to enjoy, and we didn't expect that this one is the lifesaver for Farmhouse Kitchen.
That's amazing.
I know it's
Well,
something like my gosh, yeah, it's
Pop, there's a book I read years ago called Deep Survival. And
Mhm.
it talks about people that have survived incidents out in nature that where something happened quickly that was not planned for that changed everything. As a specific example, you're on a charter fishing boat off the coast of Florida and the weather was supposed to be great and you and your friends are out there chartering this boat fishing, and then a squall turns up that wasn't in the plans. The boat flips, you're 25 miles offshore and your life has changed instantly in a really precarious and potentially very negative way. And so the
Mhm.
book goes through all these real life examples of when this has happened. And it talks about the people that survived these incidents and then the people that didn't.
Yeah.
The people that survived, the common thread across all these different episodes throughout history that the book studied is that the people that had the mindset when this happened of, okay, I can't control what just happened. That's done. I've got to turn this into an adventure and an opportunity to find my way home or to find a way to survive versus, which would be a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, which would be, this wasn't supposed to happen. This isn't my story. This is not the story I had in my mind for myself. I can't believe this has happened. And they panic and they freeze and they make bad decisions and they wind up losing their life because of that. And I always view that as a metaphor for things that happen, whether you're out on some adventure like that. But I look at COVID as one of these episodes where, as a
Sure.
business, you were in that tunnel, tears in your eyes, worried, what are we going to do? But you realized you had to find a way, and this reality, which really sucks, is the reality. So now, how do we adjust to this new reality and use it as an opportunity to grow and thrive? And that's amazing what y'all did, and the fact that you know were ever able to leverage this tool or this technology in DoorDash that had been a really tiny part, you know, of your business, and bring that into the fold in a way that it's driven so much growth and creativity for your business. So I think that's an amazing story.
Thank
And
you.
I wonder, here's what I want you to talk about. There's a lot of technology out there now that helps restaurants. DoorDash is a great example, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of technology out there. But one of the most important things, I believe, to help a restaurant continue to be successful is to have authenticity.
Sure.
Authenticity, who you are, your story, what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it. And then
Mm-hmm.
marrying that authenticity with innovation is like the confluence of those two things. There's a little alchemy in that, or there can be. There are those that lean too hard into technology, and then you kind of lose the soul of who you are and what you're doing. There are those that
Mm-hmm.
don't use any technology, and it becomes hard to meet the consumer where they want to be met. Talk about how you're purposely leveraging the right tools and technology, but keeping authenticity. And I ask that under the context of, I always find it interesting when you go into one of your places, you are in control of that experience, right? Like, you're
Yes.
now inside your four walls. You and your team have control of that.
Mm-hmm.
When your product goes out of your four walls and goes, in this case, let's say through DoorDash, you lose control of that. What happens between there and when the customer gets this delivery? So I would think it's like really important to have the right partner that you trust will deliver that experience that you would want to do if, like, let's say you were delivering it yourself. Is that how you think about this?
Yes. So for myself, balancing the traditional into the innovations, I use a lot of traditional cooking technique, Thai herbs, the house-made curry paste, and innovate with the playful collaborations. Like, we joined the SpongeBob Krabby Patty Burger Challenge. We went to Coachella Festival Music, the Coachella Festival Music to learn like what kind of customer we like, and the modern plating and digital ordering convenience to make sure our guest is, enjoy and easy. For example, like the QR code, it was in the world for decades, but during the pandemics, QR code is something like, it make it easy and simple. And then it's about like making Thai food access without, losing its soul. For example, like, if I want to do something like spicy, I never lie. Even on my menu, it will say like spicy, and I put the caution with the comment with no return. And like using the innovation of technology into by adapting the photos, videos, short clip from the Instagram to make sure our customer is enjoy. And culture at Farmhouse Kitchen is the hospitality from the heart. But my question is how to put that code inside the system. So DoorDash is really good. When they say like put our soul in, put our heart in the Thai traditional way. So DoorDash has a good opportunity for me to show on the photos, even like on the descriptions when we do the, when we run ad with them, we can see like, the the good result, the 21 times X good result from the ads that we play with DoorDash. And since day one, the first year of DoorDash, it's not an easy like today. Means a lot. Means that every single day DoorDash try to improve the system. I remember like really hard to get into the customer service. And sometimes like we don't talk to the local people. We talk from like maybe like West Coast. And it's really hard to make them understand what the norm and regulations here in the city look like. So to me, really thanks to DoorDash who adapt themselves every day. And another cool thing is communication. Nowadays, you can text them, and there's someone's always less than 30 seconds answering you and helping you through all the craziness thing. And used to be a printer, DoorDash when customer order, it's through the printer, but now no, it's digital world. It's mean a lot. It's mean that even I'm here home, I can get that order. And it's really important for me to like to see the innovations to the culture of Thai cooking and give the best of the result to the customer. I don't even see like DoorDash never asks anything more, but what I see a return customer. The percentage is crazy, and it's not just something like I. It's not just something like I really want to be on top of the game, but no, we kind of like working together to get the best result for the customer. And DoorDash is phenomenal.
Love that. How old are your kids?
You can see it.
I'll
Sorry.
listen, dude. I'll
Yeah.
I have three kids. They're
Oh my gosh, respect.
21, 18, and 15.
Wow.
There's nothing better. Enjoy them while they're young. And when they come in on and you're trying to do, and they come in like, it is the best thing in the world, man. I mean, I would give anything for that now because my daughter's, she's 21. She'll be a senior in college this year. We're getting ready to send my 18-year-old son off to be a freshman. I've got my 15-year-old son left at home. We got 3 years with him, and like it goes by like that, and then they're gone. And there's nothing better than I miss so badly when they're young. So how old are your
So I
kids?
got 4 years old and 7 years old. They start knocking the
Oh
door. Crazy knocking the
man,
door.
I love it. You can get them on here if you want. I mean, because
Yeah.
I mean, you're they're growing up in your
Yes.
business, and
Yes.
and as you said, it's you know, I mean, I love how you put it. It's sort of like your home away from home, and if
Right.
that becomes their home away from home, maybe they'll take over the business one day, or maybe one of them will, or maybe they'll go to do their own thing or start their own business.
Right.
Awesome that you're bringing them up in an environment where you can you can bring them to see what you do and how you support your family and why you
Thank you.
love what you do. And they'll see that spark that you had those years ago at that, cooking at that food court. And that still, I mean, it still shines very brightly through you, dude. Like there's no doubt about it. You're doing what you meant to do and you love it. And they'll see that and get a lot of inspiration for that as well. And man, I mean, what a cool story, Pop. You came here with
Thank you.
$300 and, um, it's a great testament to, you know, the opportunities in this country for immigrants that come here
Right.
and are willing to, take some risks and work really hard and devote themselves to building something. The opportunities are boundless and endless, and you really can come here with almost nothing. And I always say that there's like three factors that you always seem to find in any success story, and Bill Gates would be one of these. But it's timing and it's luck and it's hard work. Like, and you're not going to find anybody that's successful that doesn't have some degree of each of those. I mean, Bill Gates, was lucky that when he was, he had access to a mainframe and began early in his, where nobody else really had access to the stuff he did, and that he happened to be born when he was born. But he also freaking worked his butt off. Like, so you have this marriage of like being in the right place and being at the right time and maybe having a little luck along the way, but it just comes down to working really hard. And when you do something that you love, that you really love, when that spark goes off, then the work doesn't really feel as much like work. It feels like devotion to your craft, which,
Sure.
it's fortunate that you had that moment. There's a lot of people that go through life and maybe they don't realize that what they were really meant to do until maybe it's too late or later in life when it's harder to take risks. And so your story's awesome. And I think it's cool that your kids get to grow up and be a part of that story, man. I want to talk about teamwork because you brought that up earlier. And
Yes.
I want to talk about teamwork and culture in your business and what's changed over the years. I think a lot of restaurants owners will say, outside of COVID when it was like impossible to find anybody to work, but even now, this next generation maybe has a different mindset about
Sure.
work and the
Yeah.
values that we have at work, and like what you and I might see as the natural thing that you serve with a servant's heart, and you put the customer first, and you're really intentional and present with them, and that you work your way up to earn your stripes, earn opportunities. That generation, my kids being a part of it, tend to have a different mentality on that. So I'm curious what's changed for you and how you've had to evolve and change as a leader and as a keeper of the culture to adapt not just to new technology, but also to new mindsets in our workforce.
Okay. So what my leadership and culture look like, the culture at Farmhouse Kitchen is like hospitality from the heart, and every guest feel like family. Whenever they visit us, I keep telling my employee, like, listen, whenever people decide to come to our restaurant, it's not one day decision. They're being planned. So they put their work, they put their effort to make reservation, to go online, to look on the Instagram page, to search what to order. They work. It is our job to give them back a good heart, a good hospitality. Of course, Thai as a Thai person, we kind of like have a good hospitality on our own side by smiling, body language. That's already give the warm welcome to our customer already, and use that as a key to make sure like whoever visit us just think they are one of our good friend or family. And my leader style is more like lead by example. I give a bunch of like, example from my background side. Before I become the restaurant owner, I used to work at the prep stations, turn right into the cold stations. And then I worked so hard to get into like, the workstation, which is the main kitchen. And after that 2 year, I was serving as a server for 2 years. After that, I got promoted as a manager. I worked as a manager for 4 years. It doesn't mean like you can learn this type of thing in one day. It's need time and experiences. I remember like when my customer order a martini, I was like, okay, yeah, martini. And they start crazy about like, what to put inside to drop off dry vermouth and everything. I was so shocked. And after that, I say like, I have to know. I got to know. I need to learn. So I went to a lot of seminar. I went to a lot of books and online classes. So my leader example is really a main key for my people, and talk about the kitchen side, be inside the kitchen, mentor the young chef to give them a thought about like, being a chef, what it look like. Everyone just try to be cool, try to act like, hey, I'm a chef. But what is really true of being a chef? Like, of course, cuisine is just cuisine. Food is just food. But if you make that food from your heart, you will turn that piece of raw chicken into a beautiful, delicious, homey feeling. I remember the feeling when my grandparents call for lunch. I run super fast because I know if I were there first, my grandma gonna give me some hidden stuff. She will hug me first. She will give me a lot of good moment before the lunch start. So I keep sharing those stories to my people, and it is something that really helps. I empower staff with to bring the creativity to the table. So I kind of like give them the it's not a rules or Bibles to ask them to follow, but I give them opportunity to show out their way and then try to see if it work at the restaurant or try to help them adapt those skills into the restaurant world. It's really fun to see like, hey, chef, I want to serve on this way. And I say like, okay, it look nice right now, but think about like, the food expedite will hold that plate and then it might collapse. And then the food runner run the food to the table. It might collapse in another way. It's kind of like play around with the creativity from my chef young one. Communication is to me is the most important to get into a good teamwork. I learned so hard in so many different ways. I used to be like crazy big boss. I used to be like one man show boss. I used to be like never listens. It's yeah, that's pushed me up to this point. But what is bad is every day I carry those moments back home and spread out to my family. So nowadays I keep training my people like before you clock in, I put the big smile. This is my first rule. You guys has to smile and happy to work here. And then every single days, I don't want to see like bad energy inside because it spreads so fast. Think about this. If I hold a knife and walk inside the kitchen with my upset face, don't say any words. My sous chef, my main chef, my dishwasher, my prep will get that energy and then start quiet and start awkward feeling when the ticket come, nobody call anything, just look at the ticket and make food out. And those feelings go through the food, go through the shaker, food runner, and to customer. So as a consumer, we know this is the bad food or good food, right? It starts from the way that people clock in, from the first step they walk into the restaurant. But how about if I smile, did a big nice and say, hey, how are you guys? Are you ready for the day? What is the rule today? Make sure you cook food with a good heart. That customer, when they got the pad thai, they will see the smile inside the pad thai without saying anything. That is the way that communications by showing, by asking, is so important to build up the teamwork. A lot of young manager came to me like, "Hey, boss, can you tell me like how to make your people love farmhouse?" I say like, what is farmhouse to you first? If farmhouse to you is the working place, then you're not going to get up to that point. But if farmhouse kitchen is a home sweet home for you, think about this: a fresh flower, a nice smell, the night lighting, not too bright, not too dim, the beautiful music that brought up slowly creativity and then beat up at the BC point and then low down before we close. This everything is all about energy. To me, like energy, communications to build up the teamwork by sharing. If you search online, Farmhouse Kitchen Thai, you'll see a lot of crazy stuff like flower, decorations. It's not just only a restaurant. It is a place that bring joy, not only for customer, for ourselves too. As a worker, I used to work at the high rate Michelin restaurant, have to be like stand still with Thai. I worked there almost 6 months without pay on that time. So tough. I don't know. I was lost. I keep talking to myself like, this is not me. This is not call home. This is it's torture me from inside. So I don't want that to happen to my restaurant people. So I keep sharing the story, training them, giving them the understanding, and be able not to give up on them easily. I think this is most of my challenge thing. Really important, like to make sure, like when you get the right people working for you, they have to feel the same. This is the right boss they want to follow. So that is how I built Farmhouse Kitchen team. And since from day one, we see, we cry, we fell together so many times. But at the end of the day, we look at each other without saying any words, and we're like, yeah. We're like, we did it. Yes, yeah. Another day, and it's really fun. Yesterday was a crazy day. The restaurant was so busy, and I was walking there, and people are like, oh my gosh, my leg is so sore, and then blah blah blah. I said like, it is a good problem for you guys to have. Imagine before we didn't get any busy at all during the COVID, and then now you get busy. Appreciate with it, and be happy. And I asked everyone to light up and say like, I'm so ready for busy. I love busy restaurant. To cheer them up, to give them a goal. It's so important. And another keyword of teamwork is to trust. For example, like I used to be one man show. I ask everyone to do anything, and then when they come back, I say like, no, I'm gonna do it myself. I think I can do myself better than what you do. It tortured me like for 4 years. I remember on that time I have 3 restaurants. I run like crazy. I was so upset for everything. And there's one moment I sit down and it's like, why I'm so tired? And then my mind like say like, okay, because you do everything yourself. And I say like,
Yes.
if I didn't do anything myself, how am I going to get a perfect solution? And then I end up that saying like, if I keep doing it, I'm gonna be alcoholic. I'm gonna be so upset person. I'm gonna be like management. I might have like my brain might explode, or I killing myself. So I calm down a little bit and say like, okay, what is the real problem? I look back and then found out that I never trust anybody. Why? Because I never train them the way that I really want. So that's moment I said, okay, if I want to grow up, I have to stop myself from here and start fixing things that I should fix before by explain, by training, by accept what I have. For example, I have one of the good friends. I never promote him as a manager because I feel like he's not ready. And then one day I start training him. I spend time with him almost 3 months to make sure everything he do is correct. And after that, right now he's my partner. Right now he has 3 restaurants with me. And it is about trust. It is about like understanding and feel like, each person, we grow up from the different perspective of life, different family background. How am I going to change and improve the way that he or she work to meet my need to run the farmhouse kitchen business? I spent almost 2 years to accept and to fix. And after that, I start from 4 restaurants, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until now I have 12 restaurants in my own. And communication, training, and trust. So right now it's 3 parts that I feel like is so important. This is not talking about like, law and regulations or tax purpose and everything. It is more like teamwork. and also I also have my partner who is the CPA, and his background is more like a lawyer. So we kind of like understand things in the real life way and the legal way, right? And we kind of like adapt this point two together, um, to make sure we can save Farmhouse Kitchen and keep the business running in the proper way. And it's really important. His name is Adi, by the way.
Uh,
He's the guy behind everything: numbers, law and regulations, training. We spent a lot of time with this, and the good result is for long term. And our exit way of Farmhouse Kitchens is going to be a place that we can exit it from the trust way. For example, like our goal is to create Farmhouse Kitchen Express. That is our exit way for Farmhouse Kitchen, because I feel like now after pandemics, the way that consumers change is they focus more on street foods, comfort foods that they can consume more and more. Even like after pandemic, we're still seeing like a lot of Michelin chef turn into like a street food or comfort food concept. And I feel like working with all kind of keywords, communications, fix problem together, understanding and accept, be able to help each other and understand law and regulations to success in this kind of business. This is not only a restaurant, bar, massage, hotel, any hospitality businesses. We understand the same thing. Yeah,
mm.
and it's really fun to see like, fuck, I did it.
Yes. Love it, man. This is like a master class that about
Yeah.
because what you've done that is so hard for many people to do is you got to a point where you had to look inward, you had to get rid of your ego, and
Sure.
you had to say, I have to learn to educate and train and communicate and trust. And so in other words, you're letting go. And that's hard for somebody who's started something and built something and done something, and the way that it needs to be done is in your head, and you don't want somebody else to do it because you're like, I'll do it better. And then, but that's a recipe for burnout. Well, like you said, I mean, there's a reason there's a lot of substance abuse, mental health issues in this industry. There are a lot of people
Sure.
that
Hmm.
grind themselves down working, in absurd hours with massive amounts of stress and not finding a way to take what's inside and recreate that outside and educate and communicate against that. So they wind up, as you said,
Yeah.
being an alcoholic or having drug issues or taking their own life. I mean, there's all of this stuff is, it's a work hard, play hard industry. It's a hard industry. And I think that one of the things that we found through doing this podcast so long is that there's a lot of people that look at what you do and they
Hmm.
go, that looks cool. I want to do that. What they don't understand is all that it takes to get there. And that, as a restaurant owner told me last week, he's like a 33-year restaurant owner, and he says, I call restaurant owners the CEO of fixing the toilet. And his point was, what you see as an observer on the outside, as a consumer, when you see a restaurant owner, yes, it looks really awesome and it looks like this great thing, and it is. But what comes with, you're seeing this tiny sliver of
Hmm.
what really comes with that, which is the restaurant business. Every aspect of the economy flows through the restaurant business. You have to learn so many different skills to run a restaurant, from dealing with people to dealing with employees to finance to managing labor, managing food costs to legal issues, regulatory issues. I mean, you have to,
every day.
it's insane how much you'll have to. So you really, I always say like that spark better be in there and it better burn really bright, because the reason that, whatever the number is of restaurants that fail in the first year or 5 years, I mean, you hear all these statistics, whatever it is, whatever the true number is, I believe a lot of that comes from people that think, oh, I'm a good cook, and if that guy or that gal's doing it, I could do this too. And nothing could be further from the truth. Being a good cook and hosting dinner parties in your home and making people feel happy is one thing. Scaling that into a successful and profitable business that grows, whole other thing. And
Yes.
a lot comes along with that.
I remember the first restaurant. I thought just like, oh, I rent the space and then I get the permit from the health departments, fire departments, building departments, and done. No, no way.
Yeah.
I was told. I remember like what is C Corp, S Corp, LLC. Has to go back and get the books and then study so hard. It's burnt out. Like, hey, I'm just a chef. I wanted to cook a good food, and then now, I remember I asked the the CPA person, why I have to pay employee tax? It's not me. I said, that is the law, blah, blah, blah. So she threw me an article of like, what employee benefits could get. And then I have to study so hard. It's like, my gosh, I didn't know running the business is just something like I never be prepared. And then I look back today, 20 years from now, I kind of like, wow, if 20 years ago, I know everything, I could do even better. I could do like, 401k that 20 years could pile up into like millions and millions already. And I could do anything that even better for myself for long run, like, 15 years or 20 years. And, but every single days, I appreciate myself like at least you see the problem and you fix the problem. That's the thing. Another thing that I always share is everyone, when you search on Instagram, you see like, oh, that is the success restaurant. Oh my gosh, I like it. I love it. And I think I can do with it. And, start copy from page 1 until page 20. And then you feel success. But at the end of the day, you don't know the whole story, how it came from, why this dish called this one, why the restaurant come up with this idea, or some chef create this new sauce and then start complaining, like, oh, this is not Thai food, blah, blah, blah. Yes, of course. It's you mind your own way. You find your own path. This generation start from the C generation now as Alpha. What I see on them as a consumer, they want to be someone and success quick. They want to be like, oh, 1, 2, 3, open YouTube and then follow the step and then success. Yes, of course, they could turn like $1,000 to $100,000 within 1 week. But what I don't see on them is a passion of doing something good in their life, because they want to do everything. I want to be good at the robots. I want to be like, influencer. I want to be like, a good biker, but in a short period of time. And I keep telling my young kids like, okay, if you want to do, this is the goal. We're going to come up with the goal, year plans, second year, first year you will fail. We talk. At the first, they don't understand. They cried. It's too crazy. I don't like to hear about it. But each day, I keep telling them like, okay, this is something. You're not going to get success in one day. It's need time. It's need power, empower from inside to adapt and accept. And this generation, I feel like they need to learn more on themselves. Like I saw one day the success on top of the roof, and the next day depressed, like almost killed themselves because they didn't never go through like us. Every single day we have to go through so many things for 20 years. And believe it or not, I moved here without having any family members or any support. All I know is to go to the city college and ask for things like, can I take this class? What to do? What not to do? What is history class? I really confused on that time. And it's so important to train out people to be able to handle a high pressure, not only inside the kitchens, customer. Sometimes you have to dealing with drama inside between coworkers. Sometimes you have to strict on the food vendor who delivery late, or you have to be able to understand how the payments look like. One guy's like, "Oh, you have to pay me $2,000 for this." I say, "Nope, we already talked. You have to submit invoice and allow me at least 15 days to cut you a check. I will not give you a credit card because I have to pay 3% fee. Otherwise, I could save thousand for myself, and why I have to share that for Visa or Master, right?" So those kind of things, to be able to understand and accept. Yeah.
The thing that we want our kids to learn is that the reward is not the success. That's the byproduct. The reward is the learning and growth and overcoming challenges that only come through patience and hard work
Mm-hmm.
over time. And just
Yes.
as a 401k, when started early, will compound if you just set it and forget it, and will compound over decades,
Mm-hmm.
so will your joy for life and your respect for what you do with the work that you put into it. And only through challenges and tribulations and hard times do you actually come out of that. When I look at you, I see somebody who is glowing with pride and joy for what you do. But if you had come here and it had just been like super easy and it was just like no challenges, you wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
We need those challenges. We need those roadblocks and those hurdles and those obstacles and the
Mm-hmm.
times of the tears flowing and everything else, because then when we get to the other side of that, we can really appreciate the journey, and the journey is what
Sure.
makes everything so special. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Pop, I want to respect your time. I could literally talk to you for like 2 or 3 hours, but I want to respect your time. I want to ask you one last question. And that is this. If you were right now talking to a room full of hundreds or thousands of your customers, that you get to serve every day through your restaurants, and they were all there, and you wanted to thank, like, what would you say to those people that support your business?
I I always got a feeling of a friendship. You know, whenever my customer decide to visit at any locations, I see their story through smile, through sweating when they eat spicy, through the way that they dress. When I see my customer dress up like crazy, it's mean like, this is might be the first time or second time. But when I see like sandals, shorts, shirts come in, that is my true customer. It means they open their heart. They already know who we are, and they didn't expect more than what they already get. What I want to say thanks to them is thank you for the support. You not only support Farmhouse Kitchen, but you are supporting a family of Farmhouse Kitchen. All labors that got paid is from you guys. And of course, we provide a good hospitality through the food cultures, through the high quality of products that we trust, and we never lie. If we make mistake, we walk directly to them and say apologize and try to find the right solution to make things happen and better. I really want to share, like, there's a lot of customers that become friends, become family. I have two friend and family who used to be like a good customer from the first day. They keep coming like 2 weeks in a row, and I have to stop them. Like, hey, stop, dude! Never come here again for a while because I don't want to lose you. Because I trust that when people consume something over and over and over up to the point that they feel it's normal, and they will carry the this standard to visit other restaurant, and they will keep coming back until there's one point that's not coming here anymore because they feel like enough, right? And that family, on that time we don't have kids, so we just having fun, like, okay, yeah, just make sure, like, whenever we come, you bring me some Thai shot or whatever. And we've become like, oh, how about like what you guys doing on 4th of July? We're gonna throw the barbecue in front of the restaurant. So start coming until we know. We invite to the family side. We kind of like having fun together. We have a kid, so we took the kids camping together. We even like sharing a hard true story about numbers, about tax system, and those moments, it's make me feel like, wow, restaurant business is a good opportunity for me to share, to accept, to improve. So I really appreciate everything that I learned in the past 20 years to my customer. They are truly friendship. It's more beyond, like, of course there's bad customer, but most of the time we move on and try to see, like, this is the way. Imagine if we as a consumer and didn't get the thing that we don't like, we start talking, we start spread out the bad news or whatever. So to me, it's so important to thanks and to be appreciate, to be accept any comment. And it's really something that 20 years is quite long enough to understand myself and to be able to share. Yeah.
I love that. You've clearly built a home away from home for yourself, for your family, and you express that very well to your customers, and it makes them feel like that's their home away from home. And that is literally what hospitality is. That is the
Thank you.
essence of hospitality at its core. So, Pop, dude, I really hope I get to meet you someday. If I'm
Yeah.
not that way, I live in North Carolina, but anytime I'm
No worry.
not
Yeah.
out that way, I'm going to come hang out with you. This has been amazing. For those of you listening, this is just a masterclass in building a successful hospitality business. If you are somebody who wants to build one day, listen to this episode over and over again. If you are run a hospitality business now, I know that you've learned a lot. This has been amazing. And for those of you listening, I'm trying to get better about this. Please go rate the podcast. Go give us 5 stars, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It'll take you 5 seconds. Take you 2 seconds. Like, do it right now, like while you're listening. But the reason I ask that is when we get the more ratings we get, I mean, this is a top 5 hospitality podcast. That's cool. The more ratings we get, the higher up in that ranking we'll go, and the more people will get to hear this stuff, because the people that do this stuff that Pop was thinking about doing initially, that are computer science and they're writing algorithms, those algorithms put this content in front of more people when we get more engagement of people saying, I like it. So give us a rating, give us a comment. Thank you all for listening. More episodes coming soon. This is let's rack this. This is like a top 10 all-time Restaurant Owners Uncorked episode right here out of 600 episodes. So Pop, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So really glad to be with you guys, and wish all of us best luck. Never give up. and be happy.
Love it.
All right. Take
It's a
care.
wrap. See ya.